In response to the 1960s unprecedented unified black protests, to ensure that it never happens again, white oppressive forces began deploying perception management systems against black people. Perception management is a propaganda technique that involves altering a targeted population's perceptions of reality to suit the objective of the ruling class. Perception management systems are an essential part of modern information warfare. These perception management systems now provide the white ruling class with their most effective tools used for controlling black people. Unlike the blatant tactics that white oppressive forces deployed in the past to facilitate their oppression of us, these perception management systems are not easily recognized by the black victims. However, they are extremely effective. Case, point, and proof. White social scientists determined a long time ago that by hiring white propagandists to perpetually oversaturate the African American community with images of black millionaire celebrities, they could create the perception that success for black people within the white dominant society is now very obtainable. It also creates the perception within the collective minds of African Americans that we've come along much further than we truly have within the white dominant society. Because in reality, those millionaire black celebrities makes up less than 1% of the over 50 million African American population. But by constantly showcasing the 1%, it makes the black masses more content with our current collective state. It also makes many black people blames the current disparities that still exist within the black communities on black people themselves instead of on structural inequalities that are built within the system of white supremacy that are deliberately designed to still impede black advancement. White social engineering scientists also determined a long time ago that by hiring white propagandists to perpetually inundate the black population with fraudulent propaganda that exaggerates the issue of black on black crime, they could create a perception management system that misleads millions of black people to perceive ourselves as being our own worst enemies. Embedding this perception within the collective minds of black people divides us, creates black self-loathing, and shifts black collective aggressions away from the white society and redirects it against ourselves. It also attacks the core foundation of what bonds us as a people, and we can then be ruled over forever. This is the hidden true reason why black on black crime is so amplified within the white controlled media. It's clearly not because the white establishment cares about blacks killing blacks. Come on, wake up. This noted black on black crime perception management propaganda campaign is also designed to make us fear each other. The white ruling class realized a long time ago that a fearful black population is much easier to control than a fearless one. Fear is one of the most powerful human emotions, and it can be used as a tool for controlling targeted populations. When people are gripped by fear of a threat, people's rationality shuts down, making them easily manipulated by anyone that promises safety from the threat. The white society manipulated many black people to fear our own people and to believe that we therefore need the white society to protect us from our own people. Fear within a targeted population are often consequences of narratives created by those in positions of power. Oppressive governments often maintain their grip over targeted populations by continually invoking fear and then proceeding to claim they are the only ones that have the powers and the ability to protect the populations from the threat. Ruling classes for many years have understood the power of intentionally invoking fear in the minds of their oppressed population as a means of social control. Social scientists call it fear psychosis. White social scientists also determined a long time ago that by perpetually falsely negatively distorting everything that black people believes about ourselves, while simultaneously favorably distorting everything that we believe about Caucasians, they could condition us to perceive ourselves through a false inherent subordinate identity that aids the white society in maintaining its social dominance over our lives. White social scientists describe this unethical social engineering practice as merely instilling a value system into the collective minds of Black people that makes us adhere to the authority and existing infrastructure of the white dominant society. Manipulating the perception of Black people to think in ways that benefits the white society is not a new concept. Throughout history, those empires that were brutally oppressive, fearing eventual retribution from the oppressed, have always manipulated the minds of the oppressed to think in ways that prevents them from unifying and seeking retribution against their oppressors. Therefore, the perception held by the oppressed are never truly their own. They're always a false perception beneficial to the oppressors that were deliberately embedded into the minds of the oppressed by their oppressors without the oppressed even realizing it. This is the hidden reality of what has been done to Black people by white oppressive forces. Welcome to the real world. The truth has finally come forward, but they have conditioned millions of us to fear it and to hate those who speak it. The African slaves of the 21st century are those who cannot unlearn all of the mental enslaving lies that have been embedded into their minds by the white society. It's the real Black people's matrix. Those of us who tell you the truth are trying to free you from a mental prison that you don't even know you're trapped within. Those Black people who do not critically think never notices their mental chains. It is time to wake up to our reality. It is time to elevate our minds above a biblical fairy tale and the silly slave syndrome myth and learn the social sciences that are being deployed by the white society to facilitate their ongoing long-term oppression of us. As I said, welcome to the real world.